Tim and his son Matthew, out in the woods they run. From dawn to dusk they wander beneath the glowing sun, hunting, fishing together through the rivers and the streams, looking for Bigfoot shadows, living life's sweet dreams. Godly values they cherish, father and son so strong. In family and in faith they flourish together where they belong. Hunting nation, a sportsman true, with hearts so kind and free. Their bond so pure and new, out in nature's spree. Tim shows Matt the way in all their daily chores. In honesty they stay, opening cherished doors. Hand in hand they travel, with memories to make lessons learned, unravel in every step they take.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Deals Outdoors. Kind of an odd episode today. As you can see, I'm at my day job. And it's been bothering me that we've not been able to get any actual kill shots or any shots really, period, on the show. So I was thinking, I've got videos and pictures of a place that we went in Tennessee. It's in Monterey, Tennessee. It's called Wilderness Hunting Lodge. I've been there twice. Dad went with me once. The first time around, it was just me. And I went after a Texas doll ram. And the second time, I went after an elk and a hog, and Dad went after a hog. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the videos and the pictures. I'm going to put them together and just kind of explain what happened in the hunt. And on the first hunt that I went to, I believe it was 2021, and I tried to do this as a gift to Dad. We were talking that whole year. Every time Dad would say, "Man, that'd be cool," I tried to do it for him, just to, and he was talking about how he wanted to go after bighorn sheep. And I looked at the price of a bighorn sheep, and it was like $10,000 between the hunt, tags, everything like that. And I was like, yeah, then I can't come up with 10 grand. But I found this place in Tennessee where they had Texas doll rams, and for $900, almost $1,000. I was like, well, or $895 at the time. That's what it was. And I was like, well, that's easier. That's something we could do. And the way it worked out, Dad wasn't able to come with me. So I went by myself, just kind of feel it out and see if he wanted to come the next year. And we got out there to Wilderness Hunting Lodge in, Monterey, Tennessee. I got out there a day before my hunt and everything was supposed to start. That way, the first day that I'm supposed to be out there, we can get me out. We can do whatever I need to do. I get out there, and it's probably about 4:30, 5 o'clock in the evening. And my guide's name was Roy. And if you do decide to go to this place, ask for Roy as your guide. He's awesome. He's good old country boy. You can't help but love the guy. And I get my stuff put in my room, and Roy goes, You want to go ahead and hunt now? And I said, well, I was gonna, I drove 4.5 hours to get out here. I was gonna try to take in and relax. He said, well, I got some downtime between clients. Why don't we go out there and see if we can find you something? That way we know where it's at tomorrow. And we go out, and this place has everything. It's got elk, it's got bison, it's got fallow deer, it's got red stag, it's got four-horn sheep, Barbarossa sheep. I think I said that right. Barbarossa sheep, Hawaiian, the painted Hawaiian rams, hogs. I mean, You know, it's one of those, if you can't find something, that's your own fault, you know. And we go out and we come across a herd of sheep. And Roy told me, he said, "Well, I've got one if you want to go after it. He's got a double curl." I said, "Well, that'd be nice. How much is it?" And he goes, "It is more because he's got a double curl on him." I said, "Well, what about this one here?" There was one that stuck out to me. He was red instead of usually a doll ram is white, but he was red. He said he got a white head but a red body. And I said, "There's just something about him. He looks special." Roy said, "All right, we'll try to get after him in the morning." So we went and I ate some supper and went to bed. Got up the next day. We're driving out to set me in a stand. And down below us, we see sheep. We see the rams. And he's leading them. And I told Roy, I said, "Just let me out here." And so I got out, and that's when the video starts. I had Roy take the video for me. And I know this is a high fence hunt, but I was trying to go after something that I normally would never come across here in the mountains of North Carolina, especially on public land. So y'all enjoy it. Once that video is done, I'll kick back in and we'll talk about the hunt that me and Dad took.
Be sure he's in the clear. There he comes. Good shot. Good shot. There he goes. He's going down. Now they are tough.
Does he need another one or just let him go?
Just give him time. I hope this is videoing.
Yeah. I might have got him a little far back.
Looks a little far back, a little bit. A little low.
Put one more in.
I would. Right there on the shoulder. Because they're tough. He'll go for a while.
40 yards. Oh, God. 40 yards. That one ain't behind him yet.
Okay. Shoot over?
Way over. Ooh, one more.
I thought that's one I just videoed.
There he goes.
Yeah. I got him. We'll edit that miss out, you know. For slight,
I ain't worried about it.
For
I
a
make
slight nominal fee.
everybody makes mistakes. That ain't the first time I've shot over something.
Right. Won't be the last. Neither.
No. That got him. Oh, that's right in the. That's right behind the shoulder.
Yeah. Well, at least you got him.
Yeah.
Got anything you want to say to your pap?
Got him.
Should have been here, Dad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Come on, buddy. He ain't making it out of it. I know that.
How'd y'all like that little bit of baby face I had? So, yes, I didn't miss a shot right up and over. I'm human. It happens. But I will say the thing that bothered me the most is how long it took him to die. And with that, I told Roy, I was like, man, I hate that it took this long. And he said, well, I had some guys come through here earlier this week, and they shot one, and it took 2 shots with a 300 Win Mag to take it down. And when I heard that, I was like, oh, okay, so these things are actually just naturally tough. It's not that I did a bad shot or anything like that. It's just they're that tough. And he said, yeah. He said, that's all that is. So that kind of made me feel a little better. But it still something didn't sit right with me. And so after that, I started going and looking at new broadheads. So the broadheads that I were using was Kratos by Flying Arrow Archery. Nothing against that company, but those weren't the ones for me. That's all it was. I just found out those are not that's just not my cup of tea as far as my broadheads go. But something felt off about my bow, and so after that, I went to Dad's house, and we went out and shot my bow, and I was everywhere. I could not group to save my life, and I'm like, that's not like me. Something's wrong. And so we took my bow down to a shop, and they said, your timing's off, your draw length is off, and I've been using this bow for 15 years. My draw length, so normally it's supposed to come here. I could come all the way back to here on my draw, and so I had no consistency. It would just move, it gave me too much room to creep forward. So at that point, we got me a new bow. I went from the Bowtech Tomcat to the Bowtech Solution, and because as I said in our gear review, I'm a Bowtech guy. And then from there, Dad saw my hunt, and he goes, that looked pretty cool. I'll go with you next year. And so we booked a hunt he wanted to go after a hog, and I went after a hog and a cow elk. So the cow elk was for meat. I had no trophy intentions on this whatsoever. It was just to fill up the freezer. Same as the hog. They do have trophy hogs out there, what they call presidentials. And the presidentials are ones that you can see the tusk before you see the hog. Like they're just big, big hogs. And so we wait till November of the next year. We go out, and we get Roy, excuse me, to be our guide again. And Dad instantly, they clicked. I mean, it was just two good old boys, three good old boys. Pretty is honestly, it turned into three good old boys just hanging out with each other. And we go out, get settled in. Excuse me. Ugh. We go out, get settled in, and then the next morning we wake up and it's pouring rain, but we're still going to go after it. We get out to a field where Roy tells us there's a herd of elk, and by a herd there's about 7 or 8. And as we go up to them, Roy tells us, he says, "I'm gonna have to drop y'all off about 100 yards because these elk, once they see us come into this field, they know something's about to die, and they usually run off." He said, if you can, if you shoot one, please don't let it go back down in this ravine. That's because the way it is, the field goes this way and then it drops down into this huge ravine. When I was there the year before that, I had tried to help a guy from Boston kill a Sika deer. Um, didn't work out for him. He was trying to get one with his bow, and we never could get one in range. But when he said that, I fully understood because it's sheer. It's a drop about like that. So I was like, all right, we'll do our best. And we go to pull up, drops us off. And me and Dad, we start sneaking up towards the elk, and they see us, but they're on alert. Like you see their ears perking forward and all that kind of thing. And I'm looking through them and I'm trying to find which one I want to take. And I find one that's still laying down. She's bigger bodied. She's got a different color to her. She looks older, you know. And I told Dad, I said, that's the one I want. She's got more meat and she looks like she's kind of past her breeding stage. So that's what I'm gonna go for. We get about 30-35 yards out, and she stands up, and they're all about to spook, and you can tell it. So I pull back on my bow, and the whole time I'm pulled back on my bow, there's a water buffalo to our right just watching us. And this is. I told Dad, I said, now if that thing starts acting up, you shoot it, and I'll try to help you pay for it or something. And then we'll both be good in the meat. But I come to draw on the elk, and she turns broadside. And I'm like, all right, perfect. Right as I'm about to shoot, she turns one more time, and I catch her in the back leg. And I hated that I did that, but it was just honestly right as that was happening, she turned. And the positive thing was I hit her in the femoral artery. She ran about 3 good steps, and she turned around and started watching us. And as she's watching us, I look at her back leg, and I'm seeing blood spray out the back of her leg. And she starts getting woozy. And so I tell Dad to stay in one spot, and I go and put another arrow in her. I shoot her in the lung. And I did not realize that even a cow elk weighed as much as they do. I tried to pick her up to where I could get a picture with her, and I'm just like just her head just huge. And so what I'm going to do now, I'm going to pause for just a second, and we're going to put the picture up of the elk. And then, actually, hold on. We'll see if we might be able to do this here. We ain't got to stop and start all the time. I'm a modern hunter, so I got pictures of it. Pause for this. Tell you what, while I'm looking this up, I want y'all to check out the other shows that's on Channel 12 TV network. We've got Jim's Travel Emporium. We've got the Drink Beer and BS. We've got Body Slamming Conversations. We've got Critics Crossroads. We've got the Paranormal White Witch, Tracy. We've got Don Vick. We've got his show. We've got the NCI guys, which I've popped up on there a couple of times. It's got Stud Muffin Dad on it. And Sean with the Eternal X Wolfpack Paranormal. Uh, we definitely want to check him out. He's always got some good stuff going on. All right, so now we got this up. We'll see if we can. There she is. And yeah, that was something else. Getting to get after something like that, I never in my wildest dreams would have thought that I could actually do anything with an elk. I know it was high fence and I know it was paid for, but so after that, we get Roy to come pick us up, and they get a tractor and they load her up, and they take her to the meat house. Which when you kill an animal there, they take it and they start processing it for you. And he asked if we want to take a break or if we want to go ahead and get our hogs. And Dad said, well, I'm ready. I'll just go ahead and get my hogs. And I said, well, if he's going to, I'll go ahead and get mine too. And so Roy sets us off at another spot, and we start walking. He said, the good thing I like about y'all is y'all know what you're doing. I don't have to babysit you. I can just leave y'all here and I can go handle whatever. So we start walking, and on the hillside, there's a bunch of hogs. Well, a red one comes through, and that's one thing Dad said he wanted to get was a red one. So Dad, instead of bow hunting, he brought his 22 250. And funny thing about that is when we were getting ready to hunt, Dad wanted to line his gun up, and Roy said, "Well, there's a rock out there at the shooting range. We got to shoot that." And I mean, that rock's about like that. And Dad shoots and it just turns to dust. And Roy goes, "Yeah, you're good." And Dad's like, "Man, I'm like this at 100 yards. I won't, shoot pinholes." But we see a red hog come through, and Dad's looking up at it. He said, "That's one I want." He wanted to get a red hog. So he shoots, and he wishes that thing turned sideways. He shoots it right in the ear. And so it was dead before, it was dead before you could even, it even felt anything. But I wasn't able to get a video of it, but I do have the picture of it. So right here's Dad with his hog. And you can tell, when you see the way he's covered up, it was raining pretty good that day. So the next one is me with this biggin. So right after, and I've actually got a video of this that Dad took for me. So right after we got that, we kept walking, and I come across, I see this big, because you can tell it was a big bodied red sow, and I said, that's the one. So now I'm gonna put that video on, let y'all see where Dad got the video of me getting a shot in on it, and I'll meet up with you right as soon as that's done.
I am recording. Let me
get that spotting out of the way.
24 yards.
24.
Little change of scenery now. But yeah, so the hog that I shot, it's a very quick clip. That was right after Dad shot his, and it was this big sow, and she went 3 yards, maybe. Shot her with Annihilator broadhead, and I've said it on my gear review. I'll say it again. I love those broadheads. They're one solid piece. You can resharpen them and keep using them. They're tough. So I put right in the shoulder as you saw in that video. Went about 3 yards, and she laid down. Right after that, we had to call Roy and tell him, "Hey man, we're ready. We're ready for you to pick up the hogs, and we're ready to go. We're done. We got them shot." He pulls up in a side by side. He comes out and says, "Y'all ain't nothing but a bunch of killers. Just a bunch of killers." And it made us laugh. But yeah, after that we took them back to the meat house and got some, just while they're processing everything, we went out and we shot our bow. Well, I shot my bow and things like that. And I'll tell you what was funny is I actually ended up drawing a crowd, which I thought was hilarious. I don't know if it's because just bow hunting's not as popular or what, but I'm out there just shooting my bow, and I have all of a sudden I've got like 5 or 6 people standing behind, just standing there watching me shoot a bow, and I'm kind of turn around and look, and Dad's talking to them because we don't know strangers, and they're just like, man, that's so awesome. That's so amazing you can do that and everything else. And my dad was sponsored by Martin Archery back in the early '90s, and I've known archery and bow hunting for my whole life. And I was just like, y'all don't do this too, you know. But after that, we came back home, and I got two freezers packed full between the elk and the hog. So it was a good hunt. And that's it for this episode. It was just kind of an on the fly thing. Like I said, I got sick and tired of not having any kills to put on because that doesn't, not very entertaining, and we want to be entertaining. So that's it for this episode. And next time on, here in the next couple of days, my buddy Blake will be on the show. He'll be talking about his story, and he'll be talking about things that he's went through to try to get into hunting at a later age, and after certain things have happened in his life, and about just what he's had to go through to try to get into it. But till we see you again, y'all have a good one.